You send it from next round.
Mm-hmm.
I need to get off of mine.
All right. We're live.
I need a towel first. Oh, wait. Crying.
Jim.
All right, man. It's out there. All right, let's do this. Let's talk about the game. Brown will read the chat because I don't have my glasses. We're in the same place.
I know. It's so weird.
We're in the same place.
Yeah.
I was coming back from Auburn, stopped off and watched the final part of the game with Brownie here. And we're going to knock this thing out here. Oh, I need to time this.
Yes,
you know when you're ready. You ready?
I'm ready when you are, Jim.
All right. Welcome in, folks. Here we go. We're going to record this after an Alabama loss, an Auburn loss, and a UAB win. Here we go. All right, welcome into the Saturday Breakout, the next round. Jim Dunaway along with Ryan Brown, and we will do instant reaction first to the primetime game on the CBS doubleheader. 41-38, it's Texas A&M beating Alabama. The folks from the ESPN broadcast, Herb Street, Fowler, Felica, who commented last week that Kyle Field wasn't that intimidating of a place. All night long, CBS told you it was a raucous atmosphere. All week long, Alabama fans, after a 2 straight loss week for Texas A&M, Alabama fans seemed like this was a given. We fell into that. We thought it was a given as well. And Nick Saban said, hey, you got to take every opponent. This could be a trap game for Alabama. It's not a trap game because you win trap games. That's a loss.
That was a loss. And, boy, there was a lot to hate about the way Alabama played in that game, and I think it was a failure in all aspects of the game. Your defense was just atrocious in the first half. Busted coverages on 2 touchdowns, couldn't get off the field. Your offense in the first half was sloppy. The fumble, I really don't think it's Brian Robinson's fault. Thought Young had him a little bit high on the handoff, the interception Young threw.
I thought it was the play call.
Well, yeah, because to your point, you've got Brian Robinson, who, by the way, to me, was the best player in the game. Brian Robinson.
Jamison Williams late.
He's really
Brian
good.
Robinson.
Calzada, too. I mean, got to give Calzada credit.
So we're talking Alabama.
Well, okay.
Calzada's the MVP.
But Brian Robinson is the best player in the game, and you've got him at a fullback, and you've got Roydell Williams playing tailback. And
why do something cute there?
That's what I'm saying. I mean, you had the run pretty much all night. Give it to Brian Robinson. Let him be the man that he is and get the yards.
When does he not get a yard?
Yeah.
2 yards, 3 yards.
And then you had a special teams failure on the kickoff return for a touchdown, which ends up being the difference in the game. I would say the only thing you really did solid was kicking field goals and your punt block. Your punt block was pretty good. It scored 7, and your field goal, Reichert, of course, did not miss all night. Other than that, there were failures all over the board for both coordinators and all aspects of Alabama's team.
We're going to talk about this game a lot. We'll talk about Auburn and Georgia a lot. Georgia will be your new #1 team now. And we'll also bounce around to the rest of the country. But as we watch this game, you kept making a point, and Alabama fans probably need to hear this. If you were going to lose a game, you said that was the one to lose. Why?
Well, I mean, because Texas A&M already has 2 losses. So you still control your own destiny in the West and really in the national championship on a 1-loss Alabama team that's the SEC champion. And what you've done is you've eliminated the possibility of losing to Georgia in the SEC championship game and still getting into this. That's what went away tonight in College Station, was the fact that you could absorb the loss in the SEC championship game as the #1 team in the nation and still get in the college football playoff. Now there is no margin for error anymore. That is out the window. But if you were going to lose to a team in the West, you're going to lose to a 2-loss team because they all have them. Last week's loss would have been worse because then Ole Miss has to lose twice.
That's right.
So this week's loss for Alabama, listen, there are alarming things that come out of this loss. That's the thing. There are alarming things that if you don't get these things fixed, you're going to lose again and none of this matters. But just in terms of what it does for your end goals, it really doesn't affect them all that much because this team has 2 losses in the conference already.
If you see something you want to comment on in the chat room, you go ahead and do that. I will just keep rolling along here. So in that game, you saw Alabama give up a lot of sacks.
Mm-hmm.
You saw a fumble. You saw an interception down on the goal line. You saw a kick return for a touchdown. You saw a tremendous amount of penalties.
Right.
You saw, as Gary said, DBs running into each other.
Yep.
You saw drops from the wide receivers. You saw Bryce not be as accurate on a windy night in College Station as he has been.
That's what Justin says right there on Facebook. Our QB is horrible. It showed at Florida, and it cost us tonight. Now, I think Bryce Young is horrible.
Justin.
But he did not have his best.
Whoa.
He did not have his best night. That interception, that he's got to. The interception he threw, that's got to be to the back pylon to Billingsley. Let Billingsley make the play on the ball. You can't just hit him right on the money there. It allows the DB to undercut it, which is exactly what happened. I think the Brian Robinson fumble was on Bryce. You said it's play calling. You make a great point.
I think it's play calling.
Yeah.
I mean, when is he under center handing to Brian Robinson, who's a fullback? How often do you actually practice that?
Right.
I mean, seriously, I'm no Bill O'Brien, and I'm not on the coaching staff, and I know you're prepared for everything, but how many times do you practice Bryce Young under center, Roy Dell as the tailback, Brian Robinson in the fullback? That's got to be such a quick handoff. It's such a quick timing, something that's got to be practiced a lot more. They're not a fullback team.
Mm-hmm.
And why are you doing that? They're not just running a normal play.
Yeah.
I'll give you another example of play call. Welcome to the Bill O'Brien show.
Well, as Philip said, Billingsley had a bad game too. I mean, that's another thing. Yeah. Billingsley was not good tonight.
Yeah, I mean,
that drop over the middle. I mean, that's huge.
Take a team picture, Philip. The team had a bad night tonight.
Brian Robinson and Jamison Williams did not.
Yeah. But the other thing, I mean, what was it? First and goal to go at the 4, and you throw 3 passes.
Yeah,
not 1, not 2, not 3. What 3? Yeah, you throw 3 passes and kick a field goal.
Yeah, if the fact Brian Robinson didn't touch it on that down and goal situation is criminal. Yeah. I mean, that's the best. Again, he was the best player on the field at the time. He and Calzada. You got to at least let him try to run it in one time, right? And 3 throws, and I mean, Brian Robinson's the guy got you down there. I don't know how you don't throw to him right there, or let him run right there.
Offensive line looked confused all night on coverage.
Yeah. They couldn't pick up the blitz. Alabama couldn't get their blitz home, and they couldn't keep A&M's blitz out of the backfield. For most of the third quarter, they had fixed a lot of that. It didn't rear its head as much in the third quarter and a little bit of the fourth quarter. But late in the game, some of those mistakes just showed back up. And, I was sitting here thinking, we were talking in the first half, kind of joking, and I made the joke on Twitter, and you did too, I think, about, the Fire Pete Golding show on Monday. And boy, the way that defense played up until the last 2 possessions for Texas A&M, I was thinking, man, maybe Pete Golding, he made some halftime adjustments there, and they shut them down. They did, and A&M didn't run a lot of plays in the second half. But, boy, those last 2 possessions were all they needed.
Just so sloppy. You had not seen that from an Alabama team that much this year.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to think last time, I mean, when's the last loss? They were unbeaten last year. Was it Mac Jones in Auburn? 2019? Is that the last loss?
For Alabama? Yeah, I think so. I think that's it.
Because they won the bowl game, right, that year?
Here's another one. Michael makes a good point here. That kickoff out of bounds was really, really bad.
It wasn't good either.
Yeah.
Add that to the list. I mean, I don't think that's anywhere near the
way
top.
down the list tonight.
It's not anywhere near the top.
Yeah, but that was another special teams failure. Kickoff out of bounds. You just give them such good field position in that situation. When your defense had been playing very well, you score a touchdown, you get all the momentum, and then you give them good field position with a kick out of bounds.
It's Ryan Brown, Jim Dunaway is the next round. Saturday breakout. As you listen to us, probably as you get ready for a live show coming up on Monday, 9 to 1 Central. I apologize if I smell like I was outside at Auburn all day long, because that's where I was.
Yeah.
Watching number 2, soon to be number 1 Georgia beat Auburn. Alabama has gone down, and UAB has won, as we break down everything. And you guys can comment in the chat room there. And we'll have phone lines open on our Pepsi hotline. But our show tonight's being brought to you by our friends at Culver's.
That's right. Culver's Enjoy Delicious. It is a fantastic place to go to. Great locations for Culver's. You can find them just off 459 and 150 right there in Hoover. And they got a new one coming in Tattersall Park, Highway 280.
Yeah, can't wait for that, man. Could you use some right now? I haven't eaten all day. I could use their cheeseburger, and then I would just drop in a good old one of their ice cream desserts.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So Alabama loses.
Right.
And You know, I would love to hear what Nick Saban says here in a few minutes. It probably would be in about 10 minutes if you're watching this live on a Saturday night. But he's going to tell you just what he told everyone at halftime. Wasn't a lot of good out there.
That's right.
Wasn't a lot of good out there tonight for Alabama. So you said there are some concerning things that come out of this for Alabama moving forward. Let's talk about those a little bit, because there's nothing you can do about this loss.
Well,
and you still control your own destiny in the first place in the West. But now you've got to survive the rest of your schedule. I would say one of the positives is the rest of your schedule doesn't look like it's that difficult. Now, that was a winless SEC Texas A&M team that had lost 2 straight that just knocked Alabama off.
Looks that difficult. That was an 0-2 conference team.
That was the last place team in the West. Alabama just lost to. Right?
It was. I still, and again,
can I just on that right there?
Sure.
If you're a Texas A&M fan, you're giddy, but as you walk into the Dixie Chicken tonight, you've got to ask yourself, how in the heck did we lose to Arkansas and we lost to Mississippi State and we just beat Alabama?
Right.
Why are we so inconsistent?
It's a legitimate question.
I mean, that's got to be the question that's floating around the Dixie Chicken on a Saturday night.
It's a very legitimate question. How in the world did that happen?
I would have named somewhere else in College Station if I knew.
But you don't know anywhere else, do you?
Dixie Chicken's
all. Yeah, you wonder how they lost those 2 games. That is baffling. But
now back to the question.
Yeah. The question, what does Alabama need to fix?
What is concerning to you moving forward?
So obviously Texas A&M showed a lot of Alabama's future opponents pressures that Alabama struggles to handle. Now, Doug Marrone and Bill O'Brien will have a chance to correct some of that, you would hope, if it is correctable. But they brought pressure packages that got Bryce Young off his game more than he's been off his game yet, and had Alabama's offensive line completely confused. So there's that. Number 2, that was not a very good offensive line, and Alabama could not get their pressures home. And that's hugely concerning. Will Anderson, as great as he is, and he's a phenomenal player, you didn't hear his name called a lot tonight. That's about as neutralized as he's been.
And out there on right tackle was a true freshman.
I know. And that's not a good line. That's an offensive line that has been much maligned, and it's one of the reasons they're 0-2 in conference. And Alabama they couldn't push them around on that offensive front. To me, that is hugely concerning there.
It likely will not. Maybe it is the Pete Golding show on Monday as well. But one thing it can't be on Monday is the Fire Jimbo Fisher or Jimbo Fisher's an Idiot show that LT likes to get into sometimes. Because I thought he called a masterful game of play calling.
Well, I mean, when you consider he's technically playing his backup quarterback, and that's the best Calzada has ever played. Guys, I mean, I don't know how much Texas A&M football the people that are watching this have watched.
I have.
That guy has been really bad, actually.
Really bad.
Yeah, not even like, okay, he's been bad.
In fact, if you watch the CBS 42 show between the Auburn loss and the Alabama kickoff, some idiot in a hat and a baby blue shirt, sissy blue shirt said, listen, when Alabama loses games, a quarterback is a superhero.
Right.
This guy is not that guy. Well, you guess what? Calzada was that guy tonight.
He was fantastic. I mean, he had the Steven Garcia game that we always joke about. You were there for the Steven Garcia game. We'll now have the Zach Calzada game to talk about. But no, he was spectacular. Calzada was, and Jimbo Fisher called a great game for him. There's no doubt. But the point I wanted to make, and I brought this up in the pregame video that I do every Saturday, Zach Calzada is dead last in the SEC coming into this game in completion percentage. Dead last. 53% of his passes is all he was completing. And the guy looked like Tom freaking Brady tonight. That's amazing.
143 yards a game is what he was averaging in the SEC games.
Yeah.
143.
And dead last in completion percentage. And at one point, I think he was 14 of 15, and the only incomplete was the interception he had thrown. I mean, I don't know what switch flipped for him tonight, but something flipped, a switch flipped for him, and he was phenomenal. You got to give him credit, man. And Jimbo too. Jimbo called a great game for him.
Well, and back to your point about Alabama's future schedule and things that concerns them, or concerns you, or concerns Alabama fans. Well, now you go on the road to Mississippi State and you play the team that took these guys to the woodshed.
Yep. And the State's got a pretty good defense too. And don't think Zach Arnett didn't say, and by the way, coming off a bye, I don't know if that's good or bad. It was bad for Ole Miss. But don't think Zach Arnett didn't see some things in tonight's game where he says, Maybe that works. Maybe that works for us.
Of course, in the bye week, he's like, okay, on Monday he's practicing. Be like, okay, that stuff we worked on last week.
Like,
no,
flush it.
Here's what we're doing.
That's
now.
right. Flush it. I got a
Here's
new
what we're
plan.
doing now.
Harold asked, how many passes did Mechie and Billingsley drop? All of them.
All of them.
Yes. That's 100%.
All of the passes.
Yeah, that was a tough one. Michael asked, what does the Heisman race look like now?
Let me tell you, Mechie dropped so much that he'll likely drop Rockstar's call when he tries to call him on Thursday.
The Heisman race, because Bryce Young was the leader coming into this.
No Heisman this year.
Nah,
not going to give
They're
it
not
out.
going to give one out.
Not
Bijan Robinson probably after today, although his team lost too.
Horrible state loss for me.
Oh yeah, that was. God, you were up 28-7 in that game.
Well, at least they looked like they were lining up to kick a field goal, and I was going to win with the 3.5.
Yeah,
in Oklahoma. That's more on that to come. Culver's brings you our Saturday breakout. Alabama, a loser. We'll get back into that one, but we'll talk Auburn when we come back on the other side. Culver's coming to your neighborhood pretty soon with some delicious ice cream, and I'm hungry right now. I need one of those burgers, some fries. Now I'd stack up a big ice cream with some caramel on it.
Yeah, Culver's Enjoy Delicious. It is right there off of 459 and 150 at Stadium Trace near the Met. And coming soon to Tattersall Park on Highway 280.
All right, quick break here. It's the Saturday breakout with Dunaway and Brown.
How do I do the thing that gets the Culvers up?
The Culvers?
Yeah.
No, you can't do that on a one shot. Yep.
That's unfortunate.
Yep. Culver's just going to have to love us.
I do love it.
Culver's. We got to say Culver's a lot more tonight.
That's right.
All right, guys, here we go. Segment number 2 of 3 as you watch us live do this taped recording. Sort of a behind-the-scenes VIP, if you will. You know what I've just realized?
What's that, Jim?
I wore this hat.
I don't think the Alabama fans are going to worry about whether or not they can buy that hat right
I wasn't supposed to wear this hat yet.
Yeah. All right. That's all right. By the way, these are the types of hats we're going to be able to buy in the store soon. I mean, if you're watching this,
I'll do the rest of it like this.
Yes. No. Let them know.
I can do it like this.
Don't do that. I wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bald
Yeah,
head turned around. All right, here, segment 2. Waffle House is waiting. You ready?
Uh-huh.
Back with you on the Saturday breakout, presented by our friends at Culver's. We've spoken the entire first segment, talked the entire first segment about Alabama's loss. So we'll keep going with that a little bit, but let's head down to the Plains in a second. If you'll drop that, what does the Heisman race look like? We'll take that down.
Find it real quick.
All right.
Yeah.
In fact, you want to start that whole thing?
Sure. Why don't we start it all over again?
Here we go. Don't hit my leg ever again. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Do it again. Here we go. We're going to have a hard time editing this one today. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Back with you on the Saturday breakout. Dunaway and Brown, presented by our friends at Culver's. We spent the entire first segment talking about the upset of number 1 Alabama. We'll, of course, get back to that in a second, but we need to jump around a little bit all through the SEC and throughout the country. And I was down at Auburn earlier today, seeing if we could get a little Jordan Hare magic. You did not. Georgia is going to be the new number 1 team in the country. And I'll tell you what, Stetson Bennett's ability to throw the football, stay in the pocket, drop them on dimes was really impressive seeing that in person today. I walked away from that game, knowing that Auburn is not, the top of the heap in the national championship race or the SEC race, but Georgia was a smothering defense.
Yep.
And Stetson Bennett the fourth, I think they're going to have a hard time when JT comes back keeping Stetson Bennett on the sideline if he struggles.
Yeah, they were talking about on the telecast at the end, what do you do when JT Daniels comes back? Because you've got a rhythm going now. And as Neuheisel pointed out, listen, it's going to be a great situation for Georgia because they've got one more game against Kentucky now, undefeated versus undefeated. Georgia, Kentucky for the East.
Chaos, man. We got chaos.
Yeah, Georgia, Kentucky for the East coming up. So you've got that one game. And then a bye week, and then the cocktail party. So it's that bye week where if JT Daniels is 100%, you got to make the choice at that point.
I'm sorry.
Not Dunaway. Am I that boring?
No.
You got to make the choice at that point. So I don't know what Georgia does. You don't want to. It's like when you got a no hitter going, right? You never say anything to the pitcher. It's like when you got a rally going, everybody keeps the seat. If things are going smooth and that offense is moving the way it did down at Jordan Hare today, why would you go back to JT Daniels?
I don't know, because you can't lose your starting job because of an injury.
Who
Right?
made that rule? I mean, everybody throws that rule out there like the Bible says it, like it was one of the 10 Commandments. Like,
Right.
thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not take away a guy's job because he got hurt. I mean, everybody says that. If it makes my team better, I hate it for the guy that he got hurt, but I don't know. Have you ever heard of Tom Brady? How did he get his job?
Drew Bledsoe.
Yeah. I mean, could you imagine if Bill Parcells had said, God, Tom, I hate it for you, but Drew, he got hurt. I can't go to Tom Brady.
So Zacchaeus jumps up into the tree, falls down, and he breaks his leg.
That's right.
Somebody else would have gotten up in the tree.
Somebody would have climbed the tree. Yeah. Zacchaeus doesn't get to go hang with Jesus that day because he's got a broken leg. He got injured. He lost his job.
So for Auburn loses as well. And, it'll be easy to point at Bo Nix didn't do this or doesn't do that. But as I tried to point out today in the postgame show, it is much more than a Bo Nix problem for Auburn. It is a offensive line problem. It's a running game problem. And it's a wide receiver problem.
Yeah.
I mean, Alabama had a lot of drops tonight, too. Auburn had drops today. First drive.
Yep.
All right, you're going down. Now, is it a perfect throw to the tight end?
It's not.
No, but is it catchable? It is catchable.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
it should have been.
It's like Troy says right there. Auburn's wide receivers, all caps, cannot catch.
Yeah.
Plain and simple, they're absolutely horrible. That game would have actually been close if they could catch.
Yeah, I know, Troy. I was saying that before you did.
No, you did.
I
popped it up there because you were saying it, and it goes back to what we talked about in the Alabama game. Billingsley over the middle. Is that throw a little bit low? Yeah. But it hits Billingsley in the hands in a critical time of the game. He's got to make that catch. And to your point, you're playing Georgia. You only get so many shots at the end zone against
great
Georgia.
First drive. Got 2 fourth down conversions all the way down there.
Yeah, you get up 7-0.
Call a great play. Now, do I think Bo put a little mustard on just nonchalantly threw the pass? I do. Did he have more time to throw it? Yes. Should he have done it a little bit better? Probably. Should have been caught 100%. Should have been a touchdown, not 3.
Yeah, and it's so easy to point the finger at Bo Nix, and Bo Nix can play better, right? Bo Nix is not a great quarterback. I don't think anybody is making that argument, but I don't think it's all him. The guy is under pressure every play.
Here's another stat that shows you it's not all Bo Nix.
Okay.
0 explosive runs today from the Auburn run game. They didn't have one. Did not have one that went 10 yards. Not one double-digit run.
I'm not surprised they struggled to run. Georgia's better than anybody at stopping the run. First in the conference, and I think 4th in the country, if I'm not mistaken. But, the type of run offenses they go against, they're probably the best in the country at doing that. So you knew rush yards are going to be at a premium. But Tank Bigsby has disappeared.
Yeah.
I mean, he's absolutely disappeared.
He was one good play on a pass.
Yeah. They were able to throw it to him a little bit, but he was a non-factor against Georgia State. Wasn't even on the field at the end. He was a non-factor against LSU. Wasn't even really on the field at the end.
It tells me it's a offensive line problem, I think.
Hunter had the one big run, I think a 44-yarder against LSU. He didn't do much today, though. I mean, they couldn't run the ball today, but listen, very few teams, if any, line up and run it on Georgia.
And let's make that point. We didn't come to bury Auburn. We really came to praise Georgia here. Georgia, it was that good, and they're going to be deserving of being number 1. And I would venture to say they will be unanimous number 1. They will get 60.
They should
first place votes.
Iowa might get some. Those first place votes up. I mean, they had to fight to beat Penn State. That was a top 5 matchup.
Yeah, 3 versus 4.
So Iowa might get some votes. I would vote Georgia 100%. I mean, there was debate in my mind if Georgia was already better than Alabama. So
that's exactly right.
I think it's proven now, at least at this moment in time. So yeah, I'd go Georgia number 1, and they may be unanimous. We'll see, but it's going to be Georgia 1, Iowa 2. We were asked that earlier. Georgia 1, Iowa 2. I guess Oklahoma will sneak back up there into 3, right? After their win.
Yeah, 25 fourth quarter points for them to win. Let's talk about the Red River Shootout as we move away from the Auburn loss. In our final segment, we'll get back to Alabama being upset by Texas A&M, which is going to shake up the standings a little bit. But there's Sark calling a great game in the Cotton Bowl. Texas is off running so much that Spencer Rattler is out of the game, and they go to their hot shot 5-star recruit freshman. And he comes in and looks fantastic.
Well, here we go again. What do you do there now? I mean, that's a tricky situation for Lincoln Riley, because don't forget it was this game last year where Spencer Rattler got benched. He comes back in after Tanner Mordecai, plays so, and Rattler looked to have been a different quarterback since then. But here we go. We're already 360 degrees. We're not even 180. We're 360 now. He's right back to being on the bench. That was a fascinating game. Texas could not have started better for them. First play from scrimmage to the house, um, a sack on Rattler. Oklahoma's pinned down, punt block, score on the second play. You're 14-0 like that. It's 28-7, and I think still the end of the first quarter. How they lost that game is amazing to me.
I'll tell you how. Jimmy Lane mine. I had a stake on
You did,
Texas.
and the Texas shirt.
Yeah, had a stake on Texas, and they ended up losing that game.
Yeah.
So Oklahoma wins. They'll be up there. Iowa in a game exactly the way you thought it would be, 23-20. They're at Kinnick. Iowa wins it. Iowa wins those type games a lot, but it had been a while since Penn State had lost in that stadium.
Yeah, absolutely. Iowa, Penn State had to go to their backup too. Now that was because of injury. Sean Clifford got knocked out, so it forced Penn State to the backup, and that was, not great. He just really couldn't move the ball. So, and that's why maybe Georgia's number one, because some people may look at it and say, hey, if Clifford plays that whole game, I think Iowa loses, because Penn State led that whole game up until the very end. So I mean, Iowa is a really good defensive team that has a game manager at quarterback in Petrus. They run the ball pretty well. I mean, it's a standard Big Ten team. It is a standard Big Ten team.
This is our Saturday breakout. It's brought to you by our great friends at Culver's.
Yeah, so all the people in the chat are saying we didn't give the cheese curds enough love in the first segment. So try the cheese curds too. Culver's, welcome to Delicious.
I've never had the cheese curds.
Do you know what cheese curds are?
I do.
Okay. Culver's has got them. Welcome.
I may not. I know what cheese straws are. What are cheese curds?
It's like little small pieces of cheese that are basically battered and just dropped into the fryer.
Okay.
That's little cheese bites. They're good.
All right.
So Culver's, welcome to Delicious. 2 great locations, and you can find them one great location, another one on the way, just off 150 and 459, right there in Hoover, Stadium Trace, over near the Met, and then coming soon to Tattersall Park, Highway 280, and some other ones coming here locally as well. Culver's, welcome to Delicious, and all you cheese curds fans in the chat there, we'll try those.
I realized with the hat on and the fact that I shaved my head now, our old commercials that we used to be known for.
We could be the Culver's guys now.
We're the Culver's guys.
That's
now.
right.
Yeah. They have tater tots?
I think so.
Yeah. They got great fries.
They do.
I love Culver's. Okay. So as we continue to look at games around the country, we've talked about Alabama's loss, Auburn's loss. We've talked about Iowa's win, Oklahoma's big win, Notre Dame. Whatever you make of Notre Dame with a big win against Virginia Tech tonight, last second field goal. That was an entertaining football game.
It was. They drive all the way down, get the game-winning touchdown and 2-point conversion, and you think, well, this thing's bound for overtime, and the Virginia Tech has to punt it back to them, and they drive and actually get the game-winning field goal at the end of regulation. That was a gutsy win by Notre Dame. Coming off that loss to Cincinnati, I don't think Notre Dame, I still don't think they're a very good team. They still continue to have quarterback questions. They had to change in this game again. I don't know where they go for quarterback. I just don't view them as a national championship contender. Maybe a New Year's Six contender, but I don't think they're finished losing Notre Dame.
Well, I just brought that up and I saw the game. It was exciting.
Oh, it was exciting.
I wanted to bring it up.
Okay.
It was a good atmosphere and
All right.
such. Back to the playoff contention.
Thought I'd comment on it though.
Oh, well, that's why I asked you to comment. Ohio State
they got right.
They're coming fast, man. They just dominated Maryland.
So the last 2 weeks they played Rutgers and Maryland, and Rutgers played with Michigan State today a little bit. So this is not your standard Kansas-like Rutgers team. It's a better Rutgers team. Shadow's got them a little bit better, but the last 2 weeks they have just dominated Rutgers and Maryland. It looks like CJ Stroud has found his way, and it looks like defensively, Kerry Coombs might have fixed a few things. I don't know if they've really been challenged yet by a good offensive squad. You look at the remainder of their schedule, they've still got Penn State left. I don't know what Clifford's status is after today. I want to see them tested just a little bit more to see if they really have fixed their problems on defense or if it's just a matter of schedule. It does appear though they fixed some of the smaller problems they had on offense, and those were small problems.
Oregon was a bye on this weekend, so it gets us to the point, how far does Alabama fall? They just lost to the last place team in the West, a team that had lost 2 consecutive games. They started out preseason top 7, so I told you all week on the next round, the roster was different than what their record indicated. So if I said, where does Alabama fall? Where does Alabama fall?
Well, Georgia, I think Georgia's going to be 1, Iowa 2.
Yeah.
Gosh, does Cincinnati jump to 3? No, I think Oklahoma will jump Cincinnati. I think Oklahoma's 3, Cincinnati's 4, Ohio State's 5, Ohio State's 5.
Boy, it's so hard, isn't it?
Oregon is 6.
Yeah. Then Alabama.
I don't know. Michigan's still undefeated, and they
Okay.
won on the road at Nebraska.
So Michigan 7, Alabama 8.
Yeah, probably 8 or 9. You know, BYU lost at number 10. Michigan State's undefeated. They won. Yeah, I think Alabama probably falls to 7 or 8. Again, listen, this loss is a little bit of a free pass for Alabama. A&M's got 2 conference losses, so you still control your destiny in the West. All you got to do is win out, and you go to the SEC championship game. And by the way, I'm not convinced A&M's done losing either. They could lose some more games. So Alabama still controls their destiny in the West, and it takes away your margin for error in the college football playoff. But let's be realistic about this. Alabama's got some holes, but if they can fix those holes and continue to win, they're in the college football playoff. So I know Alabama fans hate losing. It's what Alabama is. I get that. And I don't blame you. You should hate losing. But if you were going to lose a game, this is the one you wanted to lose. I know it doesn't make it feel better tonight, but that's the one you wanted to lose. It
does not. 19 straight wins for Alabama. The 20 mark doesn't happen as Texas A&M beats them. We'll get back to that game, as I said, in the final segment, but that was just sort of a conversation for you there about where they could fall in the polls and the rankings. If I said 4 best teams in the country right now.
Oh, I have no idea. Georgia.
Forget records.
I guess I would go Iowa.
Okay. Oregon and Ohio State?
I don't know about Oregon. I think Ohio State. Georgia, I don't know about Iowa, man. Georgia, Ohio State, Oregon. I think Alabama's probably still in there. Look, Alabama played a terrible game tonight. They fumbled. They threw an interception. They had 2 busted coverages. They gave up a kickoff return for a touchdown, and it still took a field goal at the horn to beat them.
You know who plays like that? Teams not in the playoffs.
They do, but my point is, like, all right, so take almost any other team in America and give them all those things on the road at Texas A&M. If Georgia does all those things on the road at Texas A&M, they lose that game too.
Probably.
If Ohio State does all those things on the road at Texas A&M. Now, your argument would be, well, Georgia's better. They don't do those things on the road.
Yeah.
Maybe
I would say Georgia's defense
is better than Alabama's.
Is better than Alabama's.
There's zero doubt about that.
Consistent.
Yeah.
So maybe you do those things. You don't give up touchdowns all the time.
And today, Georgia's offense was better than Alabama's.
Yeah.
Alabama's offense in the second half was much better than it was in the first half. That's for sure. But, you know, when they needed to move the ball at the end there, when it's 38-38 and you've got the ball back and a chance, you know, with a clock on your side to drive down and either kick a game-winning field goal or drive it all the way and bleed the whole clock and score a touchdown, you couldn't do that. And that's championship teams find a way to do that. And would Georgia have done it in that situation? I really don't know, but they have been nowhere close to that situation yet. Georgia hasn't.
All right, we'll get back to our final segment coming up here on the Saturday Breakout. It's brought to you by our friends at Culver's. Don't forget to swing by and say hello to them. Hello to them. This is the next round. All right. I have hit my button and somehow switched my clock here.
You just gotta right there.
There we go. Thank you. All right, we're about 16 minutes is what we need here.
You're gonna be able to make it.
I'm all of a sudden yawning.
I noticed.
Oh, here we go. Ugh. It's been a long day. It's been a long day.
What time did you get up? All right, people are asking, before we get back on, people are asking where they can get that hat.
Nowhere.
Well, what are you doing wearing it then?
Honestly, this is a mock-up. We're trying to figure out how to do it. This one is a embroidered. We may be going to patch. We may be going to embroider. We may do both.
Okay.
Somebody at Auburn today wants a visor.
Somebody asked for a visor in the merch store?
Yep.
We'll do it.
With this logo on it, a visor. So coming soon. But right now, we don't have them because this was a mock-up. We're trying it out.
You weren't supposed to be wearing it on camera, and you forgot.
Well, I figured it was my opportunity to walk around Auburn today and brag about the show. So I threw it on.
You did.
I mean, LT wore it to trivia the other night. All right. Get some comments here in the final segment. Here we go. All right. Final segment of our Saturday Breakout. The live show starts Monday at 9 a.m. Central, 9 to 1. And we appreciate all the new folks who have jumped onto the app over the last few weeks. Don't forget, if you've got a friend or family member that doesn't know where to find us now, We're right there in the Apple or Android store. Just download the Next Round app or look us up on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, or Twitter, and just look for the Next Round. We're on all those platforms. Also, you get us on Odyssey. You get us on the Alexa. You can say that, the Alexa.
The Alexa.
Or also right there on Apple and Spotify.
And don't forget, the Saturday Breakout is presented by Culver's. Welcome to Delicious, just off 459 and 150 there in Stadium Trace, and also coming soon to Tattersall Park off 280. Amazing burgers and desserts and cheese curds. Yep. The chat loves the cheese curds. So
good
Culver's,
fries, good fries.
Welcome to Delicious.
Easy drive-through. Let's just do all comments.
All right. Charles says Bama had only gone undefeated twice in 15 years. As a point Lance always makes is that Nick Saban tends to find a regular season loss. The numbers kind of back that up.
Yeah.
And if you're being realistic, your chance of going undefeated regular season back-to-back in the SEC is not real good. The last team to do it regular season was 08-09 Alabama. So that's how long it had been since somebody had done that.
I would say, though, Brown, at some point, they're going to get tired of giving Alabama a pass and keep putting them into the playoffs.
Yeah.
Now, Alabama could earn their way in. Well, they'll have to earn their way in now.
Right.
They'll either be SEC champions or they'll get that second loss.
Shane on YouTube says the stubborn refusal to just run the ball is mind-boggling.
Mind-boggling. Thank you, Shane. I want to scream at the TV sometimes. And, sometimes I think I'm just the old guy in the room who doesn't like the fancy passing and everything like that. But to me, when you've got Brian Robinson, who I personally think is the hottest player on the team. Jamison Williams was hot at the end, but Brian Robinson found something last week against Ole Miss, and he kept it going in College Station.
Yep.
How you could get away from that.
Especially on the goal line.
Yes.
That's 24 carries, 147 yards. I would like to have seen him get 30 carries with that kind. He was averaging 6 yards a carry.
And to your point, Shane, which is a great point by you, because I agree with you too.
Yeah.
I know everyone says, it's first and goal, he's going to run it. But when does Brian Robinson not get positive yardage? When?
Yeah. Rarely does he get dropped for a loss.
One time in the first half on a 3rd and short, they blew up the play.
Yeah. Michael says, blown chance at the 3. 3 back-to-back pass plays called. Yeah. Unreal. B-Rob didn't get a chance to punch it in, settled for 3.
I said that in the first segment. I'm glad you're with us now, Michael. 100%. How do you not run it one time? You know what that reminds me of?
What? The NFL?
The last time Alabama lost at Auburn, goal line, instead of running the ball, Sark. No, it was Sark. The last time Alabama lost.
Oh, I thought you were talking about to Texas A&M back in 2012. Remember that one when AJ threw it 3 times?
Threw it 3 times as well. But Sark did it. Remember, it was first down. Instead of running the football, he did a cute little pass, bounce 102 yards the other direction.
Yep. Does Bill get too cute with his shirt down play calling? I don't know what shirt down play calling is, but that's what Ray asked. Did Bill O'Brien get too cute? You talked about him getting too cute on that play that ended up being the fumble.
Well, let me tell you something else too. John Parker Wilson pointed this out on the Crimson Tide Sports Network.
You were driving back from Auburn. And you heard this, right?
This was part, and this was in the first half. So 2nd and 5, 2nd and 4, 2nd and 6, several times in the first half. Now John Parker used the phrase "honey hole."
Right. It's a good phrase.
Okay. He says
short down. Okay. He's cleared it up. He's asking about short down play calling, not shirt down. Okay. Go ahead. Yeah.
So 2nd and 4, 2nd and 5 in the first half, instead of, doing a high percentage play, John Parker Wilson said they were throwing low percentage passes, trying to, quote, hit it right in the honey hole. Quote from John Parker on the broadcast several times. So it can't be as dirty as I think it is, but just boom.
I think you're delirious because it's late. Yeah.
So I agree with that. And it happened again in the second half.
Mm-hmm.
It's 2nd and 5. B-Rob had fought for 5 yards.
Yep.
And then they try to throw something deep into a low percentage play. And I think Bryce Young is better at these high percentage short passes. The receivers seem to be really good. I think you made a killing last year off of short passes that they turned in to 17-yard plays. You don't have to throw it over everybody. Throw it and let those guys run with it.
Yep.
I agree 100% with that guy.
All right, so McBeaver22 says he was upset about the fumble. And we've talked a lot about this already. How often does a quarterback nowadays practice handing off to a fullback?
Yep.
And that did feel really, really cute. You've got Brian Robinson, who's getting 6 yards a carry. And this is still early in the game, obviously. You didn't know that at the time, but still. You've got Roydell Williams, I believe, at tailback and Robinson at fullback. And you put And you said John Parker pointed this out.
He
So
did.
did Nessler or Gary Danielson one, that it never looked like Bryce Young was comfortable being under center. So, A, you've got him uncomfortable taking a snap under center.
That's right.
Which he almost never does. And he probably never once did in high school. I bet you he went all high school without ever taking a snap under center if I had to bet.
Now, please don't misunderstand what he's saying. We know Nick Saban and them practice.
Oh,
They
yeah.
practice
I'm not
everything.
saying that, but it's
They don't practice as much as they do the others.
right. So number one, you've got him outside his comfort zone taking a snap under center and the center's comfort zone. And then we're going to ask him to hand off to a fullback, which is something he hasn't done all year in a game.
And not a true fullback. It's Brian Robinson who's
probably wondering, why am I 2 steps from the line of scrimmage right now?
And then he's 2 steps, so it's got to be so quick, so timed out, or you fumble.
Right, and he gets up in his pads and he fumbles. Yeah, so I don't know. Blue Eagle says same exact thing Auburn did today in a couple of short yardage situations.
Yes,
Bobo got real cute.
Now I felt like it didn't feel the same way, Blue Eagle, because you felt like Georgia had this unbelievable defense, and maybe you had to do something cute for Auburn to beat them. But yes, I mean, sometimes you just got to think our guys can get a yard, or they can get 3 yards, and not do something cute.
Charles says, when Georgia loses at home to Kentucky, how small will this loss be? I don't see Georgia losing at home to Kentucky.
Did you see Alabama losing on the road at A&M? No,
I didn't, but that is more likely than Kentucky beating Georgia. I mean, at some point, I'm going to name her in there. I don't know, man. Stoops, that guy can obviously coach, and Levis was good again. I mean, the other side of that game, and we haven't touched on this.
Ooh, save it. We got time. But talk about Kentucky first. Georgia, I mean, that game is 2 unbeaten SEC teams.
Yeah.
Now playing for basically the Eastern Division
so that's
championship.
Twice that's happened in 3 years.
That's right.
Twice in 3 years now, Georgia and Kentucky will have played basically for the East. Now, 2 years ago, it was literally for the East. The winner was guaranteed the East. This would not guarantee either one of them the East. We're still too early in the season for that. If Georgia wins, it's over. If Kentucky wins, I mean, they're going to have to hold on to their hands, bleed. They can't lose 2 games. But, boy, if you can beat Georgia, who's going to beat you, right? Even if you lose one, who's going to what 2 teams left are going to beat them?
That's right.
And they're past Florida, they're past Georgia now.
That's right. They got the tiebreaker on both of those.
Yeah, so they're past Florida and they're past Georgia. I'm trying to remember who else is on their schedule. They played LSU out of the West. I don't know who their other West teams.
Vandy, Tennessee, and Missouri.
They got that, but they've got one more West team. I'm trying to remember who it is.
I think it's Mississippi State.
Could be State, yeah. So anyway, I mean, if Kentucky, I can't see them winning, but I'm telling you, man, Stoops he's back to that formula of just enough offense, stay on the field. Though they had more offense tonight against LSU. I'll go back and look at that number because they threw
it downfield. Now, what Brown wanted to talk about there, and we'll do it now. Brought to you by Culver's Saturday Breakout.
Welcome to Delicious. Let me give you Kentucky's yardage real quick, though, because just to be fair to them. 145 passing. They win games with 145 passing. It's just crazy.
But that was better. It was better. Yeah. It felt better.
But 330 on the ground against LSU. They can't do that against Georgia. That's why they can't beat Georgia, because they can't run for 330 on the ground. You just saw that with Auburn in Georgia today.
I think this is the loss that ended it for Ed Orgeron. When you take into consideration, I know it's a hijack, guerrilla warfare, planted call, somebody calling the coaches show, but it just shows you how nasty the whole situation is.
Yep.
And now he backs it up with a loss at Kentucky. 3-3. You start looking down the stretch.
Yeah.
What's his team going to be? Is it going to be 6-6? What's it going to be down the stretch? I think this was it for Ed Orgeron.
Probably ends it for him. I mean, because it was 42-21 was the final at Kentucky. I mean, you didn't lose to Alabama 42-21. You didn't lose to Georgia 42-21. You lost to Kentucky 42-21, and that was coming off having Auburn 13-0 and 4th and forever, and somehow losing that game at home in front of your home fans. And I think the truth is for him, the losses are not over. Ole Miss will probably beat them. Alabama will beat them. I think Arkansas could beat them. I mean, they've got losses coming. That's the problem.
They haven't played Florida yet.
They have not played Florida. I think Florida's next for them, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So they've got some more losses coming. I don't see how Orgeron pulls out of this tailspin. They're 3-3 right now. You wonder if they even get bowl eligible at this point.
So the thing you do is you do fire them quick, like they did Les Miles, and get your name into the hunt. Now the AD at LSU is the guy who paid Jimbo Fisher to leave Florida State and go to Texas A&M.
Woodward,
But if you look at Jimbo Fisher after the win over Alabama on Saturday night, He's talking about this is what we can be here. If we
Right.
just let ourselves be this,
Yeah.
we can do special things in College Station.
Which, if I'm an A&M fan, I'm like, well, why were we not doing it against
Yeah.
Mississippi State
Yeah.
and Arkansas?
We're not in your wager,
Yeah,
but we're
right.
in the stands. You are in your
I
way.
literally wanted you to beat those teams. I don't know why you didn't.
Yeah.
I don't know how Orgeron saves this thing. 3-3, and I just gave you. I mean, these are likely losses for him. Ole Miss, Florida, Arkansas, Alabama. That's 4. That's 7 losses. If he's got 7, I don't think he would live to see 7 losses. I don't think he keeps his job long enough to lose all 7 of those games. Oh, they've still got to play A&M.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, they've still got to play A&M.
Yeah.
I mean, they may end up with 7 or 8 losses. Yeah, I think that's the end for Orgeron. I don't see how he saves this one.
Remind me to ask a important question in the final minute of the show.
Okay.
Final 5 minutes right here. So Alabama loses.
Uh-huh.
Do you think they lose again?
I mean,
are we looking at a team that's not going to be in the playoffs?
Well,
be honest.
Yeah. If they played Georgia right now, it would be difficult for me to see how they beat Georgia. And now they've lost the opportunity to lose to Georgia in the SEC championship game and still get in this thing.
Yeah.
So, to me, it's going to be difficult to see how they don't at least drop another game. Maybe not in the regular season, but you look at the upcoming schedule. Mississippi State, coming off a bye. That's a team that just beat Texas A&M, who just beat Alabama. You can't get into comparing opponents like that. That is really, really dangerous. But this state team has played better ball.
That's right. Tennessee's played really
Tennessee is playing the best ball they have played in years. Now, tap the brakes. They have beaten Missouri and South Carolina. That's 2 of the 3 worst teams in the SEC. Only Vandy's worse. Okay. So they're playing against bad teams.
Alabama just lost the last place team in the West.
Yeah, you keep saying that, but I don't think anybody views them as the last place team in the West. They play LSU. Alabama will destroy LSU. Arkansas, I think Alabama would beat Arkansas. And then Auburn, lot to go before that game, but today Alabama would beat Auburn. So I would say Alabama does not lose again in the regular season. But boy, that Alabama-Georgia game right now, Alabama has been a favorite for a long, long, long run. Lance is not here to answer that, but if they play Georgia today, would you expect Georgia to be favored in that game?
I would.
I would too.
Yeah.
So I think Alabama will find themselves in the role of the underdog in the SEC championship game if they're fortunate enough to make it there.
Yeah, if they're lucky enough to even be there.
Yeah.
So Alabama has lost, and Georgia will be number 1. Any other major upsets today pop out to you as you watched all the games?
Not really. I mean, that Iowa-Penn State game was entertaining. Arkansas, Ole Miss. We haven't had a chance to talk about that yet. What a great game.
First, hats off to both Pittman and Kiffin to have both those teams back and perform like that after just demoralizing losses to Alabama and Georgia last week.
Yeah, I mean, that was just a fantastic game. And
I like Pittman going for 2.
I was about to ask you if you liked that. I wasn't crazy about the play.
I didn't see the play. I was down at Jordan.
It was the old, it's my least favorite 2-point play. It's the old roll the quarterback right and flood that side,
It takes half the field.
Well, it takes half the field that way, and it also brings all the defenders with them, right?
Makes it very crowded.
It does. It is very crowded in the end zone there, and he tries to throw a jump ball in the back of the end zone, and it's incomplete. So, but I do like him going for 2. I mean, what do you got to lose there?
Well, I mean, at that point, it's 52-51. You have to go for 2 so quick now.
That's
in
right.
Overtime anyway.
Yeah.
So why don't you just go for your 2 here and win the game?
Yeah, I've got what I feel like is a great 2-point play. I'm going to have to use it in the second overtime, perhaps. Let's just use it now and not even have to get there.
And why am I going to do it in overtime?
Right.
Just to extend the game, maybe, when I can do it and win it right here. So I like that.
Boise upset BYU. I've never considered BYU a legitimate contender for the college football playoff.
Nope.
Maybe New Year's 6 contender, but not a playoff contender. But that wasn't upset. Boise beat them.
Just full confession, I hate doing shows on Monday after Alabama losses. I get to do it on Monday.
So rarely have you had to do that.
Tune in for that. Couple streaks that I hate ended. Alabama's win streak ends at 19. The thing that bothered me was I'm walking from Jordan-Hare to my car, and Texas A&M kicks a field goal.
Alabama Trail.
There goes the 7th quarter. I was starting to like that streak a lot.
Yeah, well, that's over.
Yeah, I am glad, though, that it had to. I'm tired of hearing about Nick Saban and the assistants.
Well,
so that's over with now.
Yeah, a lot of stuff died tonight.
Yeah, a lot of stuff died.
Nick Saban trailing by at least 14 at the half. He is now 0-5. It's only 5 times it's happened, which is pretty remarkable at Alabama. There was another stat that continued. I can't remember which one it was. Another Alabama, the loss to unranked teams. That ended tonight.
That ended tonight.
Yeah,
100
boy,
games.
a lot of the things we talk about in these games, we've just lost.
All right, 30 seconds. Give me 15 on Culver's.
Culver's, welcome to Delicious. Go by Culver's. Tell them you heard it right here. Highway 150 and just off 459 near the Hoover Met there, and soon Highway 280 Tattersall Park, and more coming.
And when you hear this on Twitter, let me know, or on the app whenever you're listening to this on Twitter, if you're hungry and tired, does it make you yawn?
Yeah,
because I've yawned all the way through this. Right. We go live at 9 a.m. on Monday, or right now. God bless you. God bless America. All right, guys.
All right. We got an angry face. I wonder who's angry. I was going to pull this one up before we go. You guys are getting a little bonus here.
I'm literally tired and hungry.
Are you ready to leave? Are you, Jim?
Oh. We could just go ahead and do what we've always joked about on the show.
Which is what?
I could just move in.
You can sleep down here tonight. I have no problem with that.
I do not want to sleep down there.
All right. Do you agree with Trip?
I can't read Trip. I told you.
It says, Brown, you look nice with a camo pullover. Do you like this camo pullover?
I do not. Didn't even know it was camo. I would have.
Do not like it.
I would have guessed snake skin.
Snake skin?
Yeah.
Doesn't look at all like snake skin.
What about my sissy blue shirt?
Why did you go with that color?
Because it was 88 degrees outside.
It was warm. I actually went to the UAB game. My daughter danced at halftime with the UAB band.
Humble brag.
I'm bragging about my daughter. And Protective Stadium, quite nice. Enjoyed it. UAB, big win today over Florida Atlantic. So,
how red did I get in the pregame show?
Not that red.
Not that red?
Yeah. Thaddeus likes the camo.
Oh.
Craig.
They're kissing up too.
He likes the cap. Look, you guys are going to be able to buy these soon. Please be patient. Jim was not. Oh, Wilder got knocked out. Is that fight already on?
Is it already over?
That ends his career, right? I mean, he's pretty much done now.
Yeah, I mean, he'll fight.
But he doesn't get big money fights, does he?
No.
So Deontay got knocked out. Lance said, we were texting in our show text earlier, Fury was minus 300.
Yep. And you said, is minus 300 big? And I said, let's put it this way. I'd be minus 450.
Herbstreit says it was a great fight.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So maybe he's not done.
Yeah.
But you don't.
Lance said both just fought their last meaningful fight.
Both of them.
That's what Lance said.
Mm.
Oh, here's the video of it. We can't show you guys, but we're watching it. You'll get our live reaction. I mean, Fury is just a big old man, isn't he? Oh, boy, he turned his lights out too. Look at him. What round was that?
The last one.
Yeah. Wow.
The next one.
The next round. That's what that was. They want a golf towel. Chris wants a golf towel. Make note of this.
That would be good.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Yeah.
We can do golf towel, Chris. Thanks for the idea.
I mean, we don't want to copy Barstool, but I've got a cool Barstool.
Oh, I'd like to copy Barstool while I could. I don't know if you've seen how much money they've made.
Okay, let me get a list going.
Yeah. Towel.
Golf towel.
Golf towel. Yeah.
Golf towel.
Yep.
Visor.
Yep.
Is your wife still awake?
I don't know. Somebody's coming downstairs.
Jen Brown?
Is that my wife? Oh, it's my dog. It is
Allie.
11:43. Why are you still awake?
How are you still awake?
Didn't Mom tell you to go to bed?
Did you ever brush your teeth?
Did you brush your teeth?
Okay.
All right. Why can you not go to bed?
Because
your head hurts? You need some orange medicine? Okay. You just had to come down here and tell me my head
You
hurts?
just can't go to bed because Daddy hadn't kissed you goodnight.
Yeah. Come here. Come here. I'll kiss you goodnight.
Oh, you're playing. Your head hurts because you're playing video games.
Yeah.
You know what you are? The troublemaker of the family.
She is. She's got a little too much of my blood in her, my DNA. All right, go to bed. Come here. Come tell me good night. So we'll be on camera. I don't say good night. I love you.
I love you too.
Uncle Jim loves you.
Nothing. Thank you. Your dog peed on me.
Yeah, my dog did pee on Jim when he got here. Jim came over straight from the Auburn game, and Charlie peed on him. You know, Troy loves behind the scenes.
This is a little too much behind the scenes. We're still rolling.
Yeah, we're still rolling.
Let's end this thing.
I'm
going to the Waffle House.
Malik says that's awesome. Yeah, he says being a father is magical. So magical. My 7-year-old's up at 11:45.
Yeah. But on the upside,
I go to church tomorrow. She's up at 11:45.
17-year-old's asleep in bed.
She went to bed at 9:30. She was wanting to watch the Bama game, and she's like, "All right, I'm going to bed." I said, "It's halftime."
Boy, she's gonna be shocked tomorrow.
Yeah, well, I don't know. She went to bed at halftime. She's probably shocked it got that close. It came down to a field goal.
Yeah. Well, my wife didn't watch a snap of it, and she'll wake up in the morning, so ask me what the final score was.
She's not gonna believe that, is she?
She's not. She'll think I'm lying. Stop lying.
Brett said Kentucky saved him a case of bourbon. That was some bad he made with Lance. I forgot which one it was.
That's right.
Can't remember what it
It
is.
was LSU.
Yeah.
So good job, Brett.
All right, guys, that's fun.
Literally out of words.
We're out of words. Golf towel, visor. Put visor on there. Somebody said it over told you they wanted a visor.
Mm-hmm. Visor.
Yeah. What about golf balls? I've actually put golf balls on there. We might have an update on that.
Seems very insurance-y. Quick reaction. Golf balls, is that very insurance? Like we're realtors or insurance agents?
Yeah. Lance said LSU outright for a case of bourbon. All right. Troy says it's when you're doing it right. Your 7-year-old's up late and your 17-year-old's in bed early. That is exactly what happened.
Yep.
Carol wants us to quit so she can get some sleep. Let's go all nighter, Carol.
Come on, Carol.
All nighter.
Now I want to just keep going. Wait, is that in Alabama? Did she have an Alabama? Or was that a Georgia?
No, it's in Alabama. Face paint. Michael says beach towel. Put beach towel on.
Beach towel.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, golf towel, beach towel.
Well, beach towel's bigger than a golf towel.
Do you want robes?
Chris said, I don't wear a robe. Chris said it's pretty cool. LOL. He's laughing out loud.
We're gonna have a hard time editing this extra stuff.
No, you cut that, don't you? What do you mean?
Yeah, I cut it. Yeah.
Why do I have to edit it?
Because I don't have any equipment here.
Oh, I don't know how to do
and
that.
It's on your thing.
Well, I don't know how to do that.
It's
Chris,
late night for you.
Chris says balls get lost. That's what she said.
Yeah, they do, Chris.
Yep. Robes. Thaddeus says LOLs on the robes. I've never worn a robe.
No, on the robes.
Kevin is right. As much as we talk about the quarter zips, like these right here, it's my camo quarter zip.
Yep.
If we just had an extra logo and a quarter zip, we're going to do that.
No, we got to have quarters.
Yeah, that's already on the list.
Yes.
All right. I think we've done all we can do here.
Yeah.
All right. So, hey, thanks for sticking with us. It is almost midnight and y'all are still hanging in there.
But hey, really, thank you for everything because I mean, I don't want to get too emotional. I mean,
you are tired and
I'm
hungry.
tired.
So
and Alabama's lost. I mean, I can cry right now. But
yeah,
walking around during here today and just hearing the nice things from everyone, people in Auburn's athletic department saying nice things about what the next round has been so far. Thank you guys for making it that.
Yeah,
it just means a lot.
Braves won the series. Braves won. They tied the series, headed to the ATL.
Rays lost yesterday.
Rays lost, so that's 1-1 going back to Boston.
Yeah, it could be a horrible weekend for me.
Malik loves us. Thanks, Malik. We love you, man.
Malik, don't make me cry, man.
Don't make me cry.
Roy, you're not going to do it, Roy.
Shot glasses. Should we do next round shot glasses?
I've got a lot of shot glasses. Brett brought one from every state.
He did. Yeah, William loves this show every Saturday night. I tell you what, I have fun doing this. I do. I enjoy it.
I enjoy it too.
No, you don't. Why did you just lie right there? I can tell you're lying because you're ready to leave, and I'm keeping you here.
It's at the end of a long day, and there's usually games on I still want to watch.
Well, oh my God, Arizona and UCLA. By the way, Arizona going for their first win in forever.
Yeah.
How disappointing has UCLA been since that LSU thing?
Well, if they lose tonight,
very
disappointing. God, I hate when Alabama loses.
So does Carol, but she thinks we're the greatest in our book. Steven enjoys the late night show more entertaining than the game. That was an entertaining game. Don't you think?
It was an entertaining game.
Are you sleepy?
Am I sleepy?
Jim is sleepy.
I'm hungry is what I am. I mean, I'm not going home to go to sleep. I don't want to go SVP on you. I'm not tired. I'm hungry.
I'm hungry.
Yeah.
Did you see the photo of you looking at your non-watch hand? Have you seen that?
Did I do this?
Oh, you haven't seen it? It may be in the contest. People want me to put it in the contest. Here, I've got it.
Well, like all I know is my phone's blowing up. I'm writing back.
All right, for those that didn't see it, where's my camera? There it is. There's Jim. Here, let me take this off the screen. Jim.
Wait, so
you're looking at the time and you got the watch on the other arm.
You sure that's what I'm doing?
Well, I don't know, Jim. What else would you be doing looking at your wrist?
I think I was about to whip a nane.
I would stick with looking at the wrong wrist.
You stopped it.
Yeah.
I do that sometimes.
Yeah.
Have you ever put your watch in your right hand?
No, I'm always left hand.
Me too. But I've tried my right hand before.
Nah, it feels weird.
It does. That's the way when you're right too.
Yeah, it does. If you're right-handed, you can't do it when you're right. Cliff says, geez, Brown, feed Jim. I offered him food when he got to my house.
You said there was food here.
I did.
Never specified what kind of food.
I really don't know, to be honest with you.
Yeah, your wife said there wasn't. You said you had chicken wings.
Yeah. We did have wings, but then I think there were some left over. I don't know.
Upstairs?
Yeah. I'll go look.
No, I don't want. I'm going to Waffle House now.
Okay. All right. So this is like the 5th time we've tried to wrap this up.
Do I have to have a pass to get out of your gated neighborhood?
Shut up. This is much better than when the after show was Jim's basement.
Yeah. Oh, I agree.
What, us together?
So now this show, I love doing every Saturday night. I have to come over here to do it.
Well, we can't do the Culver's thing when you're over here together. That's apparently a problem.
I think we should just do it from the studio.
No, I'm not going to drive to the studio this late on a Saturday night.
If I've got to drive over here, the studio's closer than this place is. I'm closer to all.
Well, no, we can do it from your house. We can do it from your house. No. I mean, the way we've always done it, just separate.
It's not as good. It really is better when we're together.
It is, but we can't do the banner thing. I kind of like doing the extra time for people like this.
No, we can put Culver's on one of the screens in the studio.
Well, we can do that, yeah. Or not in the studio, but in my house, yeah. We can put Culver's up there. I could set it with Culver's on the screen, but you don't want to drive over here every Saturday night.
I don't. Just go to the station.
No, I don't. It's not a station. It's a studio.
Let's go to our digital platform.
Our digital platform. We'll get us sued. We got Steven wanting cheese curds. Well, go to Culver's when they're open.
You know what? I cannot believe we own our own company.
I know, it is crazy. I really can't either sometimes. I was thinking about it. I was reading an article. I was reading an article about these guys that do radio in Salt Lake City. And there's a crazy article. I couldn't really understand it, but it's a journalist, it's a columnist for the Salt Lake Tribune or whatever their paper is out there. And apparently him and Craig Bolerjack, you remember Craig Bolerjack? That's for CBS?
Yes.
Right. So they were doing a show on a sports station, and they decided they wanted to leave and start their own. So they go find this other sports station that hires them. And then they build that station up to where it's the #1 sports station in town. Well, the other group they used to work for bought them and apparently had over all these years had bad feelings. They're like, you're not part of it. So they brought all the staff except the guy that left and started that other station. And I was like, well, screw them. I mean, why would you do that? It just seems so petty, right?
No.
And that's when I started thinking, thank God we work for ourselves. Not that our old company was going to do something like that, but you just never know how corporations do, man.
Well, I really enjoy, there's two different type of people we've met so far during this. One, the person who's watching and cheering for us because they wanted to copy us.
That's right. Yeah, we got a lot of those in this industry.
Yeah, and then others are young sportscasters, men and women, who want to work with us.
Right.
And that's what I hope that 2022 brings, is that we're able to expand the Double Down Media platform.
I agree.
Let me show you something real quick here.
You're never going to tear that off. You're just going to stand up and show. Oh my God, Jim! Don't.
I've got to take it off.
Oh no, not your pants.
No. But look, this is the first ever. Last week at Alabama, it was next round was on the media credential,
right.
But this week it is Double Down Media on the credential at Auburn. How about that?
Yeah.
So we've been.
Are you gonna frame that?
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it.
You should.
Well, you think we should put it at the office?
We could. My wife framed. Look over there on the wall. The article that was on 280 Living. See over there on the far left. She framed that.
Oh, I see all the national championships. That's exactly what I wanted to do.
Yep.
And I didn't want to throw away the little
the lanyards.
Yeah. I didn't want to throw those away either.
Yeah. I mean, the people can't see what we're talking about.
Yeah.
But
that's okay.
Cass says, "Haha, this is gold." What? Just me and Dunaway? Just me and Dunaway sitting around talking about nothing.
Yeah. You know why?
What?
Because we haven't tossed a commercial in 5
that's
minutes.
true. And we had told them about Culver's. Welcome to Delicious.
Yes.
This must be the Not for All Ages podcast last promos. No, that's the next, the last call. Clay Travis on that one.
Tell them about Nichols.
Nichols Outfitters. And just off I-65 right there in Pelham.
Right.
Cass asks, is this done away after dark? I'm going to keep going. You keep trying to leave. I just keep punching up comments.
Well, now my
Look at
pants
this man with a dog. That is a good-looking dog. What kind of? That's a golden retriever. It looks like. Cass kind of looks like my brother-in-law from a distance. I had to do a real quick close-up. Man, he looks like my brother-in-law. That's crazy.
Could it be?
No, my brother-in-law's not named Cass. Thaddeus, do love Culver's. Thank you. Oh, you're taking the microphone off? Wow. Jim has just dropped the mic and he's walking out. And now Ryan's going to tell us about our friends at. All right.
This part of the show is being brought to you by.
Okay, so Dunaway took his mic off. So remember, he's the one that ended all the fun. You guys are enjoying this.
I'm also the one that's not at home.
I know. Jim is out of here. All right. Hey, good night. We'll see you guys Monday.
Is
Have a
Waffle
great
House
weekend.
still
Be
open at
careful.
midnight?
Yeah, I think they're open 24/7. Bye.